Who am I? I am Oppenheimer. And this is Barbie and Oppenheimer, a very Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Halloween, Labor Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Valentine's Day, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Independence Day, Resurgence. I just reminded myself that the Independence Day Resurgence is a movie. Spooktacular special Halloween thing special. Everything I see wearing these glasses looks like blood. Steve.
I'm just kidding. Where I see love, she's deep. I'll see you on the Malibu Beach!
Alright, first off, you internet. Really? Barbenheimer? I thought I had a really good idea. Yeah, I came up with that like a month and a half ago. But it wasn't Barbenheimer, it was Barbieheimer. Note to self, next time I come up with an idea like that, pitch it ahead of time before the memes get out. Now, as of right now, I've not heard anyone mention Oppenheimer, so that, in my opinion, as far as I know, is a totally original idea. You can tell me if it isn't. But anyway, hell yeah, I'm doing these in the same video. And to get your first question out of the way, no, I did not see these as a double feature. I actually saw an early screening of Barbie Wednesday night, and then I saw it again Thursday night with some friends, and then I saw Oppenheimer tonight. But which one will reign supreme at the box office this weekend? Well, Barbie, obviously. But which one is the better movie? Let's find out. But let's first start off with Oppenheimer. I'm gonna confuse this shit out of all of you. Oppenheimer comes to us from writer and director Greta Gerwig and stars Margot Robbie as J. Robert Oppenheimer as she goes through a midlife crisis and starts to question her own existence. What? What are you looking at? I mean, I know they look goofy as shit, but what? What's the problem? I'm talking about Oppenheimer. Right from the moment this started, I was already on board. The look, imagination, and idea of this whole Oppenheimer world was one of my favorite things in the entire movie. It's like watching Oppenheimer do the exact things you'd have her do while you're playing with one of the dolls. If you were a little girl playing with Oppenheimers. Yeah, clearly I didn't grow up playing with Oppenheimers. I was aware of what it was, obviously. My cousins had them, but I never thought twice of it. And recently, I've been constantly told about the amazing straight-to-DVD Oppenheimer movies. And I'm putting some major quotes around that amazing straight-to-DVD Oppenheimer movies. Oh, I haven't seen a single one of them. Yet. Yeah, look forward to that video. But, I've also constantly heard about a character named Bibble. Now you're probably wondering, who's Bibble? That's what I was wondering. When someone was telling me about Bibble, I was all like, are you trying to say Bible? It's like, no, it's Bibble. I was like, what is that? Then they showed me this picture and I was like, I have seen that thing somewhere. I don't know where, but am I the only one who thinks it looks like Sully's left nut if it was a lesbian? Then a couple months passed and I realized, wait a minute, Bibble? That was an Aqua Teen Hunger Force joke.
This is the Bibble.
You question the words of the mighty Jimmy?
No, I would never.
You better kneel down and pray to Jimmy with me right frickin' now.
What y'all doing?
We're looking for a booger he dropped because I told him we don't put our boogers on the floor, so we're trying to find it so we can put it on the table.
But as I said, I really do like this world. The set designs were amazing. Of course, everything is made of plastic, and that leads to some good jokes. The way Oppenheimer does her normal everyday things was clever, like just stepping under a shower head is the equivalent of taking a shower, and the way they go to and back from the real world was so ridiculous that I can't help but love it. And I'm probably not alone on this, but this is one of the most ballsy movies I have seen in years, which is weird to say for a movie about a character who has no balls. I'm funny. The entire time watching this, I couldn't stop thinking, how? How did this get made? This whole movie just pokes fun at the whole idea of Oppenheimer, disrespects it and the creators, but not in a mean way. The character known as stereotypical Oppenheimer, played by Robbie, believes that she's this all-loving icon and has done nothing but good for the world. But then she quickly realizes that that's not entirely the case, and that she's also done some bad for people. The movie is great at poking fun at it, with some good social commentary, and Margot Robbie was just perfect casting and does an amazing job. There are actually some points towards the end where I forgot she was playing a doll, and not just a doll, freaking Oppenheimer. One thing you should probably know before going in is that this movie is PG-13, and I really wouldn't call it a family-friendly PG-13. Kids can watch it fine, but there are actually a lot of adult situations and jokes that'll fly over kids' heads.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
But you don't even know how to beat yourself off. How are you gonna beach both of
of
us
course
off?
I
It
know how
doesn't
to-
make
I-
sense.
Ken?
And
Why
you
are
can
you
beat
getting
yourself off.
emotional?
You're gonna beach
Come
both
on,
of us
Ken.
off.
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
It's more a movie for people who grew up with the doll or those who are aware of it. And again, I'm saying this for freaking Oppenheimer. But by God, you can sue me all you want, but Ryan Gosling as Oppenheimer is one of, if not my favorite performance of the year so far. He's a very dense character. His only purpose in life is to get noticed by Oppenheimer, but she keeps friend-zoning him, and the only thing he is good at is beach. That's it. He's just good at beach. But with a great mix of the writing and Ryan Gosling's performance, every time he was on screen, he steals the show. And I'm gonna call it right now, I'm Just Ken is gonna be the next Peaches. So many people are listening to this right now and are like, is he okay? He's aware what he's talking about, right? Yes, I am talking about Oppenheimer, the movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. The movie was consistently funny and has a great sense of humor, and one thing I was not expecting from this movie was its emotional core. Most everybody going to see this is probably expecting a goofy, fun, enjoyable movie about Oppenheimer. And while that is half of it, the other half does have a few very adult moments you'd never expect from a movie like Oppenheimer. It can get very real at points, and it will make you feel certain emotions, and I was shocked at how good this movie pulls that off. There's this one great scene where Oppenheimer just sits on a bench to think about something, and this scene has no dialogue, and the movie is really good at doing some more quieter moments as well. One thing I've started to notice that Margot Robbie is really good at though, and maybe it's because they played with this a little bit in Babylon, is making herself tear up. And just like Toy Story 3, this movie might make you feel a little bad for ever getting rid of your toys. There's this one scene where Oppenheimer has to go find this girl that used to be her owner, and I was just like, this could be a horror movie in just an instant. You get rid of Oppenheimer, Oppenheimer gets rid of you! Really, there was only one issue I had, which was Will Ferrell's character. Don't get me wrong, I love Will Ferrell and all, but by the time we get towards the end of the movie and him and his group of suits just keep showing up randomly, I kept forgetting they were even in it. There's this mother and daughter in the movie, and the daughter is such an unlikable little shit to where she felt like she was from a totally different movie. Oh, by the way, you remember that weird ass teaser trailer where it was like parodying 2001: A Space Odyssey? That was the opening of the movie. I honestly was not expecting that. Going into this movie, I was already expecting to really enjoy it, but I kind of love this movie. If you grew up with Oppenheimer, you're probably already going to go see this. If you didn't grow up with it though, I still highly recommend this. It's well written, constantly funny, and it's just a really fun time. At the time of recording this, I've already seen it twice, but I'm probably going to go see it again. I'm going to give Oppenheimer an A-. But now let's move on from Oppenheimer and Oppenheimer's Mojo Dojo Casa House to Barbie. I'm a shithead. Barbie is writer and director Christopher Nolan's 3-hour epic. It is the story of American scientist Barbie and his role in the development of the atom bomb. This is a character study of the life of Barbie, and it is very dialogue heavy. So if that's not really your thing, you're probably not gonna get into this that much. But for me, I love movies specifically like this. Movies that can be very talkative and very cinematic at the exact same time. But it is dialogue that's very intriguing and keeps you invested. Right off the bat, Cillian Murphy was just amazing as Barbie. His line delivery, facial expressions, such as his blank stare, he nails it all perfectly.
8, 7, 6, 5.
At first he starts off as any other normal flawed guy, but as it goes on, we watch him as all this weight and stress is put onto him, and how the creation of this deadly weapon affects him, his life, and the world around him. Some people might see him as a hero for ending the war, while others might see him as a criminal because of the number of people he ended up killing in the aftermath. He is known as the father of the bomb, but how does that affect him knowing the fact that he's now given all this power to some dangerous people? But the standout for me had to be Robert Downey Jr. This is hands down one of his best performances in years. I love him as Iron Man, but he at least needs an Oscar nomination for this role. We really haven't seen this side of him in a while. The effects here are not just great, they're breathtaking. It is rumored that there isn't a single shot in this movie that is CGI, and if that is truly the case, then I appreciate Christopher Nolan much more than I already did. And it's not just explosions. There will be points where we will go inside the mind of Barbie and see what he's thinking about, whether it be stars, atoms, supernovas, all that stuff. One of the best things about this movie though is the sound mixing. I saw this on an RPX screen and you will feel every boom, every shake, and you will even jump at points. And that is the purpose with Nolan sometimes. You might not always understand everything that's going on because at points, you're just supposed to feel it. That's not the entire case with Barbie, but again, you do feel it. Every time the movie would get aggressively loud, I would just feel it go up my body. And I kind of loved it. And by God, see this on the biggest screen you can. If you don't have an IMAX, RPX, or whatever in your area, drive out of town and find one because that's how you're supposed to watch this movie. As for the pacing, it is 3 hours long, and for some people, I could see that being kind of a turn away. But for me, it didn't really feel like 3 hours, but it still did feel long at points, but I wasn't bored or anything. But in the end, Barbie is just great, and it's another home run for Christopher Nolan. If you're a fan of his like I am, or just a cinephile, this is a must-watch, and again, on the biggest screen you can. I'm always excited to see another one of Nolan's movies, and I hope you check this one out, because he's like the only one in Hollywood anymore willing to do original projects, and it's worth every moment of your time for that 3 hours. Now, to be honest, I don't know how much I'd rewatch it because it is so long, and it's not particularly one I would return to a lot, but I still love this movie. And I'm gonna give it an A. And sure, Oppenheimer is the much better movie, but Barbie is probably the one I'm gonna rewatch more. Give me shit in the comments down below, I don't care. Thanks so much for watching my goofy ass review special. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn the notification bell, and next week I'll be back with the Haunted Mansion and the Venture Bros. See you then. Trains!